breaking news coming in as far as the Israel-Iran conflict is concerned. The ceasefire between Israel and Iran begins. Donald Trump declares Israel and Iran ceasefire. Now, this comes just hours after Iran strikes US bases in Qatar, and Donald Trump posted on social media saying that congratulations world, it's time for peace. But on the other hand, Iran claims that no agreement till Israel stops attacks. So big breaking news coming in as far as the Israel-Iran tensions and strikes, counter strikes are concerned. The ceasefire has begun. Trump has declared that the ceasefire has begun. Now, it is pertinent to note that this comes just hours after Iran carried out strikes at US bases in Qatar. And Trump has posted on social media saying that it is time for peace. But what is also important to note is that Iran, on the other hand, has claimed that no agreement has been made and it will not be made till Israel stops attacks. And my colleague Rohit Sharma is now joining us with more details on this. Rohit, big announcement being made by US President Donald Trump that a ceasefire between Israel and Iran has begun.
Yes, I think a very interesting day for us here in Washington, D.C. It started off with Iran attacking one of the bases in Qatar. Then we obviously had the President of the United States attending his National Security Council meeting, which lasted for about 45 minutes or so. And then he came out of that meeting, and approximately around 6:15 p.m.-ish in the evening, he announced a ceasefire between both the nations, which is Iran and Israel, and talked about it. I mean, he actually posted two more messages before that. He talked about about the world should be ready for peace, and he also mocked the Iranian attack on U.S. air base in Qatar. So a very big deal. President Trump was pretty clear from day one that he wanted this war to end. He'd called for total surrender. He'd called for that Iran cannot have nukes. So I think he took a decisive action. And this was kind of expected after what had happened yesterday in the afternoon here, Washington time again, that this is going to be presenting the Iranians with an off-ramp, which would allow them to claim victory, inside Iran, and go to their home audience and say, hey, look, we've attacked the Americans, and now the Americans are ready to negotiate. So I think we're probably seeing that optics play out right now. Also on the Israeli side, now that Iran is no more capable of creating or getting closer to making a nuclear weapon, I think it bodes well for Israel also, that they do not have a reason to continue this war. So all in all, I think it's a good day. It's going to be, hopefully in the next 24 hours would be end of the 12-day war, and everybody's got their talking points ready. We'll probably see some optics play out in the next few hours or so. Netanyahu will come and talk about how Israel was successful. We'll probably see the Iranians come out and try to claim victory, and talk about how they were able to bring America to the negotiating table. And pretty much the same thing from Americans as well, which they would. And President Trump has already claimed victory, saying that he's achieved this goal, which was peace through strength.
Right, Rohit, but it is also important to note that on one hand, Donald Trump is claiming ceasefire, but on the other hand, Iran says that no ceasefire agreement has been reached and it will not be reached till Israel stops attacks.
Well, look, and that is exactly, what I was talking about optics playing out. I mean, I think if you read the entire, the post that was posted on Twitter, it talks about 4 a.m. Tehran time. I think it's already past 4 a.m. Tehran time. I think it's that messaging that has to go to the home audience, right? You can't accept that, America has announced, or President Trump is saying, the attack was unsuccessful, and now we're going towards a ceasefire. I think it's also appealing to the home audience and making sure that they put their conditions in front of their own people, saying, hey, look, we give them until 4 a.m. If they don't attack us after 4 a.m., them being the Israelis, we have no intentions to attack Israel. So I think that's the kind of messaging we'll see from both sides, where Israel will claim, or come out with their own version of what and how they were able to get to the ceasefire. We'll see Iranians doing the exact same thing. And as you know, President Trump has done this before and is doing it again, where he's claiming credit for this ceasefire.